looks like we're live on the video. One viewer up already. Oh. Yeah, that's where he lives at now. He's originally from Gettysburg, but he lives in Athens now. Singer, this is him. This guy. Yeah. I know. Charlotte Midnight Rider wants to get him up here, and I think if we could cover his gas expenses and let him sleep in the trailer, we could probably get him. Yeah. Right. One more day. I'm ready to the fog after life. We'll cross your fingers that you'll make it all right. Shadows jump out from my cross. Keep your dice on the dashboard and your life hand in a jar. Good morning, Walrus Nation. You're listening to the Monday edition of the Thunder Walrus Show. We stream live video from the Medieval Custom Cycle Studios here in Street, Maryland. It's going to be a great day. I hope you are having a good day already. If not, you know what you can do to change that. Get your wiggle on, shake the negativity out of your life, get a good, clear view of all the positive things in your life. Stay focused on them until you get past the negativity. Walrus Wonders question of the day. I haven't posted it yet, but I'll get to it. It's a great question. Do you decide you need therapy before or after there is a body to hide? We'll get that posted up on Facebook and see what your responses are to it. Also, I have your Mega Millions numbers. I have your Powerball numbers as well from Friday and Saturday night. And it has happened. I thought I was going to get through this melee and mess without having the challenge thrown at my feet, but my buddy Kenny Real, apparently, I got on Facebook this morning. I've been MIA from Facebook for a few days. I took a mental day yesterday, a little mental hiatus, and just pretty much didn't do anything. Hung around the house, chilled out, got a lot of work and stuff done around there, cool things. Then ended up with a peanut butter bacon milkshake last night from Sonic, and that was always good. So my Sunday was a mental break day, and now we're back full-fledged here with you for the Thunder Walrus Show, live from the Medieval Custom Cycle Studios in Street, Maryland. Stick around and hang out with us. The water challenge, the ice bucket challenge, I've got to do it. Kenny Real has cast it down on me, and Rick and I are going to pull it off here today. I'll make my $10 donation to, because I think that's how it works, right? The ice bucket challenge is you've either got to pour the ice over your head and donate $10, or don't pour the ice bucket over your head and donate $100. So I think I can handle 10, and we'll videotape the ice bucket challenge here momentarily. And is Rick not sitting there? Hey, brother, is Rick not sitting there? Nope. Hey, Rick! You better come up front. Sorry as I interrupt my radio show. This guy just standing here, nobody helping him. I thought Rick was sitting at the counter there. Sorry about that for the loud holler there. I didn't mean, but I needed to get Rick's attention. There's a gentleman that came in the front door. That's part of the, I don't want to say side effect, but it's just part of the live interaction when you're broadcasting a radio show right here inside the cycle shop. But it happens, and it's not that big a deal. Fella getting a tire change. Remember, when you want your wheels to give you therapy, you got to make sure you give your wheels some therapy. Take it to Rick Stevenson, Medieval Custom Cycles, right here in Street, Maryland. He's got 120 certifications. He is a graduate from the Motorcycle Mechanics Institute in Phoenix, Arizona. He'll keep your wheels running top-notch for you. When you want two-wheel therapy, you better make sure you had given got bad static, somebody's saying. Okay? Better. Okay? I'll keep making improvements and see if I can help it out there a little bit. Medieval Custom Cycles in Street, Maryland, it is the place for your two wheels to get the therapy you need. So get some breeze across your knees. We talked to Joe Cat at 10:30. Joe Cat is the guy that sings our Moonshine song for the intro. He's from Athens, Georgia. He's got a lot of big news coming up. I know Famous James. Yes, you distracted me. I seen it. Let me know if it gets better or if it gets worse as I make an adjustment or two here. But we'll talk to Joe Cat as well. We'll also discuss the ice challenge. I've been laid the gauntlet down at my feet, so Rick is looking forward to dumping a bucket of water over my head. We'll take care of that, videotape it, and post it to Facebook. It'll also be on my Thunder Walrus website. Go to thunderwalrus.com to keep up with all things going on the Walrus Radio Network. We will be heading out to Green Lane, Pennsylvania. We head out Friday to go hang out with our buddy Hillbilly up there in the woods outside of Philadelphia. We'll be up there for his Nothing Fancy 2014 party. We'll be hanging out, partying, and having a great weekend up there. That all starts Friday. Gates open at 3 o'clock. We'll probably be talking to Hillbilly here a little bit later on in the week. Get some more details and updates about what's going on in Nothing Fancy 2014. I know there's a Charlotte Midnight Rider, and quite a few are very excited about the interview with Joe Cat. And I've got an even better question for him. Rick come by and was asking, who's this cat you're interviewing? Joe Cat, the guy that sings Moonshine, my intro song. Oh, hey, see what he's doing in October. He said, we'd like to see about getting him up here for the open house. So there's an even better question, and it may answer Charlotte Midnight Rider's question, is when is Joe Cat coming to our neck of the woods? I bet if we got with Hayes Gray Entertainment and let Lee know that our buddy Joe Cat was going to be in the area, he'd probably get him a gig or two booked at a couple of our local favorite watering holes. That would be an awesome thing to have Joe Cat in town for a little while and be able to tool around with him while he goes and entertains the masses the only way he knows how, and that is with those very bluesy, soulful kind of tones and his great music that we all enjoy, everything from Factory Lines. We've got another one that we're going to debut this morning, Sleep Like Kansas. We'll talk about that, the new album, his new band, Joe Cat and the Burning Angels. All of that and much, much more will be part of today's program, and I've got a full day of entertainment for you as well. Best damn entertainment on the planet, and Joe Cat interview at 10:30. This is the Walrus Radio Network. I've got your Mega Millions numbers. Let's do Mega Millions first. That was the Friday night drawing. Got your tickets ready or pen and paper in hand. Your Mega Millions numbers are 16, 19, 28, 29, 68, and 9 was your Mega Ball. Wait a minute, is that right? Let me double check them dates, the dates that I copied them, because both numbers show up 9. What did I do? Copy and paste the same? No, it's right. Your Powerball numbers for Saturday night were 7, 8, 17, 48, 59, and your Powerball was also 9. Hopefully you were a big win, or if not, you got to play to win, so keep playing. Don't forget, Joe Cat comes up at 10:30. This ice bucket challenge, I've seen Special K dump the water over his head. I actually seen Tony DeVille dump the water over his head, and it looked like he did it in his boxing shorts, but no, he made it clear. Somebody said, you did it in your drawers. He said, no, those are my sleeping shorts. My DVDs were underneath. You weren't going to see them, he said. But other folks have had to do it, and then a friend of mine from way back in high school, Kenny Reel, and we've also done some events together here. I did a charitable event for those folks over in Northeast last year sometime. He has thrown the gauntlet down to me. He did his ice water challenge and included me, and now I've got to do it. So we'll get that done this afternoon. We'll get the webcam up, videotape it, or we'll just videotape it with my phone and post it to Facebook and share it with you. Ricky's going to have to let me borrow a bathing suit or something. I ain't standing around in wet clothes all afternoon. But we'll get to, or we could just do it naked and see how long it takes. Sure, you wanted us draw some attention to the shop. Well, we'll do the ice challenge naked. See how much it takes. It'll be all fun and games right till the time the cops show up. Yeah, well, turn the red lights on there. That's right. Yeah, keep the red light district happy. Make sure everybody is forewarned. Naked Walrus with a tic tac head. Could you imagine that road sign? Caution, naked walrus ahead. People will drive by just to see what the hell you're actually talking about. But the ice bucket challenge, that'll be posted up later. I've got 8 hours. He posted the video 16 hours ago, and the deal is I think you're supposed to have 24 hours to get it done. So at this morning when I looked at it, it said it was 16 hours ago. So I've got 8 hours to get it done. We'll say by 5 o'clock today, I'll have to have that posted. Painless James said, yes, that would get some attention. Our buddy Painless James from New Image Tattoo in Augusta, Georgia. Been a long time, my friend. Look forward to seeing you hopefully sometime soon. If you're in the Augusta, Georgia area and thinking about some new ink, be sure you look up New Image Tattoo. Painless James McLaughlin, let him know the Thunder Walrus sent you. And he may even offer you, a 25% increase for that PETA charge that comes along with all of the Thunder Walrus's recommendations. You know that. You realize that they don't treat you better. They just keep a closer eye on you. You think they're paying better attention to you because you told them you were a friend of the Thunder Walrus. No, what they're doing is they're concerned about your shady ass stealing something important. So they're just paying real close attention to you and keeping you real close to them so they can see what you're slipping in your pockets. Get it out of your pocket. Did y'all see the pictures last night? We took the boys out to Sonic. Man, that was a treat. That peanut butter bacon milkshake is one of the most incredible things on the planet. We put the top down in the convertible last night, and Pam Pie drove. Champ and I were in the back. Rock was in the front seat. It looked just like one of those bad commercials on television. But the little girl at the Sonic was so sweet. She brought us our milkshakes. She loved the dogs and just patted on them, loved on them. And then here she come back with a doggy treat. We got a milkshake. The doggies got a treat. It was a great night and a great trip to Sonic. Go by and check out the pictures on Facebook, and you can comment on those. I'll also get the Walrus Wonders question of the day posted. That is, do you decide you need therapy before or after there's a body to hide? Go by and post your answer up as soon as I get it posted. You'll be able to track that. While I do that, listen to some Living Off Your Dime. They are from the Homegrown Thursday edition. And I can't remember if this is Greg Kraft. Yeah, this is Greg Kraft with Living Off Your Dime. Good morning, Walrus Nation. DC. Nobody was there but me. My daddy never seemed to be around. He was all too busy in another town. We were mining and panning and cutting wood, doing everything that we could, just to make the dollars that we could eat. We'd be at the pipe down at the creek. But nowadays, there are people standing in line. Get something for nothing. You're doing it all the time. They're living off your dime. Living off your dime. Good morning, Walrus Nation. You're listening to the Thunder Walrus Show, watching the live video stream from Medieval Custom Cycle Studios here in Street, Maryland. The Walrus Wonders question of the day is up. Also coming up at 10:30, we'll be talking to our friend Joe Cat. We'll have the interview with him about Sleep Like Kansas and get all the upcoming information about the release of his upcoming album and the new band, Joe Cat and the Burning Angels. Look forward to that coming up at 10:30 this morning. First and foremost, though, we take our first entertainment break and segment and head to Martinsburg, West Virginia, where a young lady is just proud of her new boobs and people should relax a little bit. Yeah, maybe you won't feel that way after you hear the total story. A weight loss doctor in Martinsburg, West Virginia was canned after she repeatedly, not reportedly, repeatedly exposed herself at the office, then ended up forcing a female co-worker to motorboat her surgically enlarged breast, according to a 31-page complaint released last month by the state's Board of Medicine. Dr. Tressie Montini Duffy, 44, is unqualified to continue practicing medicine for breaking a laundry list of medical and ethics laws and standards. The report alleges that Duffy, the CEO and co-owner of the West Virginia Weight and Wellness Incorporated, is that the phone? No, it wasn't. That's what I needed to answer. It wasn't. Is unqualified to practice medicine. She is West Virginia Weight and Wellness Incorporated in Martinsburg, allegedly forced employees to fill out blank prescription slips for powerful painkillers and other drugs when she was out of the office. Employees also claim that after Duffy underwent breast augmentation surgery, she reportedly showed off her new boobs to staff and patients at her clinic and reportedly rubbed them against staff. She also allegedly allowed a drug salesperson to feel her breast while staff and patients were present. A woman identified in the report as Complainant R said Duffy pulled Complainant R's head between her breast and asked Complainant R to motorboat her, according to the complaint. This is hilarious. I mean, she's a doctor. This is an educated woman. The Charleston Daily Mail, which broke the story, felt obliged to define motorboating to its readers. So the definition that they gave was incredibly disturbing, but, you know, it defined the fact that she put her head down there and asked her to go with her lips. According to the complaint, Duffy grabbed the Complainant R by the back of her head and kissed her on the lips that same day. When the victim told Duffy to stop, the doctor allegedly said the Complainant R was being a titty baby. Complainant R said the alleged sexual abuse and Duffy throwing a chair at her led her to quit her job. The complainant also alleges Duffy engaged in a scheme with a drug salesperson to inflate sales in exchange for consideration from the salesperson, including paid parties and office staff. This isn't the first time the West Virginia Board of Medicine has tried to revoke Duffy's license. In 2009, she was charged with a felony prescription fraud and conspiracy to commit prescription fraud. Duffy's attorney, Lisa Lilly, told the Charleston Daily Mail that Duffy was familiar with the complaint and denies any and all wrongdoing. She also said that she was unaware of any criminal charges. The board will meet November 17th for a 3-day hearing to determine Duffy's future. It will decide whether to accept, reject, or modify the report's findings. This lady is a weight loss doctor. Does that still, I mean, is she like a regular doctor that just was so crappy she wanted to just go into weight loss so she can write prescriptions for speed to people that need to lose weight? I mean, sounds like that's what she was doing. She's been in trouble before. In 2009, she was charged with felony prescription fraud and conspiracy. It doesn't say she was ever convicted of it, apparently not, because they weren't able to remove her license or remove her from practicing medicine. So I would say that that was a failure. They may have a little better luck with this one now that they're bringing in the fact that she is also she's selling medicine and having unauthorized office personnel write prescriptions in her absence. Well, now on top of that, she's also sexually harassing co-workers. I mean, I necessarily wouldn't consider it sexual harassment if my boss, a female doctor, grabbed my head and put it between her breasts and asked her to... Yeah, I know, I got him. Oh, you took the phone.
I didn't.
Okay.
I was looking for a long distance number.
Yeah, I got you. And so she was grabbing this woman's head. I wouldn't consider that sexual harassment myself, but, you know, this woman was offended by being kissed on the lips that same day and then asked to motorboat her female boss's new sexually enhanced breast. Well, we'll see how it turns out, but it's West Virginia. She was just a hillbilly girl that was proud of her boobies. That was all. Nobody else seemed to be as excited as she was. I guarantee you there's one lovely young lady who's very excited at this very moment. Charlotte Midnight Rider is probably glued to her computer or telephone somewhere listening to the Spreaker app because, as promised, as advertised, and just a little bit early, which is always cool because they definitely get tired of hearing me rant and rave about my crap. We've got a dear friend on the phone. Pampai and I had the opportunity to meet this gentleman in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. I think it was 2 years ago, 3 years ago, maybe. But his music was inspirational. His spirit and soul was just one of those kind of guys you wanted to hang out with, have a beer with, and just let him play a little music for you because it always soothes the soul. It's that soothing sound of my friend Joe Cat. Good morning to you, buddy. You there, Joe? Hello? You there? Okay, all right, hang on. Now let me see if I got you. All right, I didn't have the speaker on. Joe Cat, I appreciate you taking the time out to join me this morning. It sounds like you've got a lot going on in your life, and I'm so very excited to share it with the Walrus Nation. The song Sleep Like Kansas, your new band, Joe Cat and the Burning Angels, an upcoming album release. Dude, can you have anything else going on in your life?
Yeah, right. Everything's we're pretty busy right now. Besides playing music and finally finding a really good band to get out there, and we all have the same idea about music. Yeah, building road cases, have a side business doing that, doing artwork for bands. I have no time left.
Well, you've apparently had a little time left because you've done some songwriting. I had the opportunity to talk to you yesterday on the phone and get a little insight. And while you were traveling out in the Midwest, you said you had one of those like aha moments where music and songs just started flooding your spirit and your mind, and you were writing them down as fast as you possibly could, and yet it has evolved now into an album in this new song, Sleep Like Kansas.
That is correct. It's amazing how, all these ideas are just floating around out there, and the only way we can find them is to run into them physically. You can't find them by sitting in your basement or sitting in your cabin or whatever it is. You got to get out there. These ideas are out there, man, and I must have ran into every one of them.
It was quite inspirational to me, the story you shared with me about how the song came to you. You said you saw a guy coming out of a silo or something. Share that story with us, please.
Yeah, we had been driving for about 9 hours that day. We drove right through the middle of the country, and at the time we were driving through Kansas, and it was just one town after the other. One small town. There was nothing else around there. All grasslands, and it was about 5:30, and we were coming past this town, and every town had a silo, and it looked like every town had the same thing, a little teeny store, some silos, a gas station, but they're all identical, and we were passing by this one about 5:30, and I saw a worker coming out inside a door on the bottom of the silo, all dirty, with a lunch pail, and obviously headed to home. And it just, it just got me thinking. Just reminded me of all the hard workers out there. I grew up working in factories. I was a U.S. Marine, and I've always been a hard worker. And it just reminded me about how the rest of the country, has no clue about how hard this poor guy's working, obviously alone. It's just amazing that, it's asleep, the whole place, the whole Kansas, the whole Midwest is just so sleepy and dreamy. And this music just came to me. And when I sat down and started playing with my band, Mark Cunningham of the Burning Angels and me have teamed up to form Joe Cat and the Burning Angels. And when we sat down to play this music, something very special happened. And it sounds like I felt that it came across perfectly. It's driving music. It's very relaxing driving music.
Well, I can't wait to hear the entire album. I do have a rough version of Sleep Like Kansas, and you've given me permission to share that today, and we will be doing that here momentarily. I'm hoping so. It looks like it's loaded, but we'll see what happens here if it goes well. But I do have a rough version of that. It hasn't been audio engineered. And then when is the album going to be released, Joe Cat?
We're going to hopefully release the album by the end of September.
Okay, so we'll be looking for that, and folks will be able to find it where?
Well, right now, you can go to jcba.bandcamp.com. Bandcamp is the outlet where you can buy all of my music. Right now, what's up there is my solo effort, which is my Pappy's Bible. And all the proceeds from that, I'm putting towards the recording costs for this new album. But that's where you can find it. That's one place, but there'll be many. Also, if people want to check out on Facebook, facebook.com, and then Burning Angels, we could go there and get some likes that would really help us. And that's another place where, you said you were so far away from me right now, can get up to the date, of what's happening. We are already playing some gigs, and the next one we have coming up as a band, really, is on Friday in September in Augusta, Georgia, at a place called the Stillwater Tap Room. That's 9/26/2014 in Augusta, Georgia. Stillwater Tap Room. That would be a great place for people, if you're in the area, if you guys know some people that get to come on out and see us.
Absolutely. We'll make sure that Painless James McLaughlin, who is listening this morning, spreads the word. Our buddy Joe Cat's going to be there in Augusta, Georgia with you, Painless James. Be sure you help let everybody know that our buddy Joe Cat is going to be there, and send them that way. You'll have a great night of entertainment. Joe Cat and the Burning Angels, looking forward to seeing you. Now, the question has been posed on Facebook. Are you going to be touring in this neck of the woods anytime here in the near future?
We're actually planning, right now, we're planning a tour for February, March, and April of next year. And that area, Baltimore and Pennsylvania, is definitely in the radar. We're looking at, we're setting up gigs now as we speak in that area. But I also would be interested in coming up with a partial band in October and playing for you guys, if you, because I heard you mention that earlier. We'd be more than willing. Me and Mark would definitely be more than willing to come up and play for you guys and give you a little preview.
Oh man, you don't know how much that would mean to us, not only us, but folks like Charlotte Midnight Rider. We'll see if we can off air talk about the details and what it would take to get you all up here, and we would love for that to happen, because I know everybody around here loves hearing your music on the show. They would love to hear you live and in person. I guarantee it. It's a remarkable show he puts on. He's just a great performer, and you'll enjoy it very, very much. I'm having a little technical little technical difficulty here, Joe. This track is not wanting to load. I think it's because it's in an M4 format and I need it in MP3 format. So I'll have to get it converted. I wasn't able to do that because I've got people that do help me with that stuff because I'm not that technology advanced. So I'm not going to be able to get that one on, but I do have The Devil Is a Friend of Mine and a couple of other your songs like Factory Lines that we would love to share with our folks. They hear them regularly. We love playing them. And my buddy Painless James, it's James McLaughlin from New Image Tattoo there, Joe Cat. He says look him up when you get into town and he'll take care of you and have a good time and help promote the show for you. He's right there in Augusta, Georgia himself. So be sure you look up New Image Tattoo as you get ready to head that way. And Painless James will be sure to show you some true Southern hospitality down there in Augusta, Georgia.
Well, excellent. You guys have always been good to me up there in PA, and I can't wait to come back and play because, as you know, I started playing up in that area.
Yeah, now aren't you originally from the Gettysburg area, or at least you've spent some time there, correct?
That's correct. I actually lived in Hampstead, Maryland for 13 years. Prior to that, I'm from upstate New York, a small town called Endicott, New York. But most of the playing I've done was done in the Baltimore and Pennsylvania area, at a lot of the smaller bars and restaurants, doing covers music for 3 or 4 hours at a time. And if it wasn't for my really good friends, including yourself, in the Gettysburg area and then Baltimore, I wouldn't be where I am today. I mean, I basically went from a guy who plays cover music all day long for people shouting out what they want to hear to a guy who's writing his own music.
And the thing of it is your music is so motivational. I mean, when you sing, you add your own soul and spirit to the cover music you do, and you do it very well. But when you're singing one of your own original songs, there is just a different level of spirituality that comes across, and the connection that's made with the people that are sitting there listening to it. Pam and I became huge fans of yours, and we will continue and always be huge fans of yours. You're just an incredible artist, and we find your music very motivational and inspirational. And I think everybody that listens to it does. And Rick says it makes him want to sip moonshine, and he don't even like it. But one thing I want to talk about a little bit more, you just kind of blew across it a little bit, and I mentioned it like it was nonchalant. You are also a former United States Marine, and sir, I would like to thank you for your service. And on top of filling our hearts and souls with wonderful music, you also put on a uniform and picked up a weapon and defended our country. And God bless you for that, sir.
Oh, you're welcome. I mean, all of my songs are true. I can't help it. At first, I thought they were just angry songs, but I've been through a lot, man, and they're all very real songs.
And I think that's why you're able to make the connection you're able to make with your audience, because as we discussed yesterday in that phone conversation, your music started out as just your own therapy. It was your cathartic outlet to release the pain, anguish, anxiety, mental stress, whatever it was you were dealing with in your life at that time. Your music was your coping mechanism. And then as people started to hear it, they said, hey, man, you really need to share this with the world. And I'm glad you did, because your music makes this world a better place for a whole lot of us.
Well, thank you very much, Tim. That is very true. Thank you very much. To me, it was just therapy. But if you know something, I have to tell you one thing. When I did start writing this style of music, I was completely ignorant to a lot of the music that had come before me. I grew up listening to a certain style of music that kind of entrapped me for years and years. That's all I listened to. But since I've been listening to people like Ramblin' Jack Elliott and Townes Van Zandt and a lot of Bob Dylan and all these great Americana songwriters, Tom P. Hall, and it's amazing how much that inspires me, because it seems like their songs come from a very similar personal place.
Yeah, they do seem to have that spiritual influence. It's like you can tell it's therapy for them. They're releasing something or letting go of it. It may not be definitive or detailed in the words of the song, but you can tell there's a little bit of emotion, whether that's pain, anger, or a combination thereof, possibly sometimes even sorrow. You can feel it in the music, and it does transfer and connect in a very deep way with those that listen to it. And I'm just thrilled that I've had the opportunity to meet you, to experience your music, and more importantly, I'm very honored and thankful to call you friend, man.
Well, well, same here, man. Thank you very much. I mean, I think we met that time in Gettysburg. I was playing over at Earl's Inn, and you came by and you actually did the whole set yourself. While I took a set break and just tore the place apart that night. We had a lot of fun that night.
Yeah, it was the Thursday night before Gettysburg, or Wednesday night before Gettysburg bike rally. Was a kickoff night, and so I was doing some work up the street at the Iron Horse Bike Shop. I was emceeing for Strip Club Choppers Maryland at the time, and I was just in that bar hanging out because I'd got into town the night before, and they said, man, you got to go up here and hear this dude playing this guitar. I said, okay. So I go up and listen and meet you, and the next thing I know, they tell the owner of the bar who I am, and he says, hey, man, the musician's fixing to take a break. If he doesn't have a problem, you want to do a little bit? I said, man, it's his equipment. If he's all right with it, I'm good with it. So, yeah, we met JR up there, the only black guy in Gettysburg. That was great. He was a fun dude to hang out with. I love JR. As a matter of fact, I see him regularly. He always hunts me down at every bike rally he's at. Hey, that's your favorite black guy from Gettysburg. I was like, JR, how you doing, man? But that was an awesome night. And then you came down and actually played at the Iron Horse Bike Shop throughout the weekend. So we got to hang out with you and your lovely girlfriend to get there and enjoy meeting you guys. And that was just the beginning of this relationship. And I'm glad that we've stayed in touch. And I wish you much, much success with the new band. And I apologize for my inadequacies and not being able to have that song play today. But I do have a little Joe Cat Factory Lines coming up. So let's play that. We'll take a quick music break. And Joe Cat, it's been my honor and my pleasure to have you on the show today. I wish you all the luck. Tell the guys in Joe Cat and the Burning Angels that we're rooting for you. And we hope to see you all in October.
Thank you very much. I'm sure you will.
All right, my friend. I'll talk to you after the show, either later on today or tomorrow. We'll see if we can't work the details out for that October thing.
All right, Walrus. Keep rocking.
You do the same, Joe Cat. Thank you very much. That is our dear friend, Joe Cantonese, a.k.a. Joe Cat, from Augusta, Georgia. His songs, the new album's coming out. It's my fault that I don't have Sleep Like Kansas, but I'll get it converted to an MP3 format. But right now, enjoy a little Factory Lines from our buddy Joe Cat. Good morning, Walrus Nation. Okay. Good morning to everybody watching on the video stream. Appreciate you hanging out. I hope that the Joe Cat conversation came across okay on that. I wasn't checking my audio on the video stream. I know you heard me well, but I hope that you were able to pick up Joe Cat. His comments. Was thrilled to have him hang out with us, and look forward to possibly getting him up here in October. Oh God, now we're calling each other sister screw. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, $30 second day air. That's not too bad. Right, absolutely.
Just to make sure that the kids sleep. They are forget about dozen times. So man's working on factory line. So man's working on factory line. So man's working.
Good morning, Walrus Nation. That's our dear friend Joe Cat with Factory Lines. Thanks again to him spending the morning with us in that interview. I appreciate that very much and look forward to hearing a lot from Joe Cat and the Burning Angels as they release this new album, their first venture together. Be sure you stick around and listen for more information about that, and I'll try to get that to Sleep Like Kansas converted into an MP3 format where I can get it played here on the air for you tomorrow. Boys and girls, I don't care what kind of excuses you have. It's time to put them away and shut up, because this is freaking amazing. Life is a leap of faith for Lonnie Bissonette. He's never happier than when he's jumping off a tall object, be it a bridge, an antenna, a building, or Mother Earth herself. Bissonette, 49, has been a base jumper for 20 years and doesn't let anything stop him from enjoying his beloved hobby. Not even a terrible accident 10 years ago at a bridge in Twin Falls, Idaho, that left him permanently paralyzed. From day one, I told everyone I'd go back to the bridge and jump again. According to a phone interview with the Huffington Post from his own home in St. Catharines, Ontario, he fulfilled that vow on July 19th, the 10th anniversary of the day his life and limbs changed forever. I never felt rushed to do it, he said, but a friend brought up the anniversary and I knew I had to do it on that day. The tragic accident of July 19th, 2014 happened to be Bissonette's 1100 jump. Yes, that was 1,100 jumps. I wanted to do something special to commemorate it, he said. Bissonette lined up 6 other Canadian base jumpers to join him, and he planned to do a quadruple gainer as the last jumper. However, he jumped too far out, which slowed his rotational speed. In an attempt to prevent injuring his fellow jumpers, Bissonette threw the pilot chute a split second earlier, and it wrapped around his still rotating legs and hit the water. He hit the water head first, according to MagicValley.com. Bissonette survived, but his legs are permanently paralyzed. His quote was, "Shit happens, but it's how you manage the things that happen to you." Remember that, Walrus Nation. Isn't that part of the message we've been preaching? It's all about your attitude, and your attitude is the only thing you have complete control over. And when you take control of your attitude and look for the positive in things, it makes even the most difficult things in life to deal with a little easier. It comes down to 2 choices, he says: curl up in a corner and suck your thumb, or ask yourself, what can I do now? And so he said he was going to keep jumping. And spoiler alert, for this guy, curling up in the corner wasn't an option. Instead, Bissonette found a way to adapt existing base jumping technology to his wheelchair with a strap system that keeps the wheelchair next to him when he jumps, but allows a quick release if he has to ditch it during the fall. I also have a specially built parachute for the chair so it does not crash on anyone in case I have to ditch it. Bissonette currently supports himself and his hobby with a small disability check. He is hoping the fact that he is the first person in a wheelchair to base jump from all four objects, building, antennas, bridges or span, and earth, can help him attract sponsors. I can't imagine why anybody wouldn't jump on board and sponsor this cat. I mean, he is a huge role model for folks with disabilities, folks that have suffered tragic accidents and now have to form an adaptive life. This guy has modified and adapted his life to keep doing what it is that he loves, and the very place that changed his life, he went back and did it again. One natural fit for a sponsorship, the company that makes his wheelchair says they're not interested. They sent me a letter that was probably written by their lawyer telling me that they didn't approve of what I was doing. He said the fact that I am the only person in a wheelchair doing this makes base jumping seem more difficult than it actually is. He says the sport is growing, pardon the pun, in leaps and bounds. The average Joe can now do a base jump even without experience, Bissonette said. They just do a tandem jump, like with skydiving. He admits he still gets an adrenaline rush when he jumps, but that is not the sole reason for doing it. To me, it's more about the challenges and the people I get to meet, he said. You form a special bond with someone when you're doing something this extreme. Bissonette admits, all things being equal, he'd rather that he didn't have the accident, but admits it has given him opportunities that he would have otherwise missed, such as his inclusion into the newest Ripley's Believe It or Not book, Reality Shock, debuting September 9th. To make it into Ripley's is quite an honor, he said. Being on ESPN was kind of cool, but a lot of people get on ESPN. Not everybody makes Ripley's Believe It or Not. And how true is that? It's very, very true. Not everybody gets in there. Let's do a little Lexus Lady here. Lexus Lady coming up for you from our Homegrown Thursday playlist. We hope you're enjoying the program. It's a great day. It's Monday. I had a fabulous weekend. I hope you did as well. Got to have dinner Friday night with my nephew from Texas. Young Polly Pom Pom's oldest son was in town. He's hanging out. Actually had a job interview here. Wishing him luck and keeping his fingers crossed. It'd be good to have the number one Pomplin son back in the neighborhood. Also, we Saturday hung out here at the shop, got a lot done, got a lot of things, and then Saturday night hung out at the house. Went to Bushmill Inn Saturday night. I couldn't remember the name of the bar. Went to the Bushmill Inn on Saturday, hung out with our buddy Dustin Hinchy and had a cold beer and beverage with him. Enjoyed that. And then yesterday was just one of those, like, take a mind break. It was a mental day for me. Just take a break, have a relaxing, mind-erasing day, let the stress go, let all of the things that build up in you, just let it out, like a whistle, the steam whistle. Open the valve, let a little out, let a little pressure off, and it works out extremely well. Although the ideal situation is to turn the heat down to where the water don't boil so much. But when it gets hot, water starts to boil, you got to let a little pressure off. So I was able to do that yesterday. Now I'm here with you, hopefully to put a smile on your face, put a little entertainment in your day, and a little enjoyment in that work day for you, helping you get through it with a smile on your face and a positive attitude. The Wiggle Rebellion's your tool. Use it when you need it. Here's a little Lexus Lady. Good morning, Walrus Nation. Good morning, Walrus Nation. You're listening to the Thunder Walrus Show and watching the live video stream from Medieval Custom Cycle Studios here in Street, Maryland. We appreciate you joining us for today's entertainment. It's Monday. We want to put a smile on your face. We want to put you in a happy place. Make sure you splash a little in your happy cup today. However you see fit, whatever makes you happy, that's what we want you to splash in your cup today. What makes me unhappy is the stories like this, when society and the people that we elect to make rules and govern us start allowing things that are detrimental and harmful to us to exist in our society, and especially when it is something that is harmful and detrimental to our children. Florida is known for its public masturbators, yet public indecency suspects are always trying to up the ante on their cohorts. It's like, oh, so you masturbated in front of a McDonald's? Well, I'm going to masturbate in front of Friendly's Ice Cream. Let's see how you like that. Daniel Lewis Davis, 21, is accused of parking in a residential area of Mary Esther, which is right outside Fort Walton Beach, a place you hear me speak about quite regularly, and masturbating in the street before leaving. This is all according to the Northwest Florida Daily News. He set himself apart from other accused Floridian miscreants. However, when he allegedly told police why he was masturbating in the street was because he was looking for a house. Yeah, that's right, he was house shopping. Police responded to the scene Wednesday after a 5-year-old girl reported seeing a naked man across the street. Davis had been allegedly masturbating, then ran back and forth in the road before he got back in his F-150 Ford pickup truck and fled the area. A deputy in the area saw Davis's vehicle coming toward him, and the suspect wasn't wearing a shirt at the time. Davis admitted to being in the area where the little girl was, but said he was only house hunting, according to the New York Daily News. Davis has 2 previous arrests for indecent exposure, which leads me to believe that this guy is a repeat offender and has an issue he needs to have addressed. This time around, he was charged with lewd and lascivious exhibition and intentionally exposing his genitals to a victim under 16 years old. He is scheduled to appear in court on August the 19th. Listen, why do we allow people like this to exist in our society? He's not going to get his own help. He knows he has a problem. Maybe you can't force people into therapy, but you can talk to them and find out what's guiding them and motivating them to perform such embarrassing and stupid acts. If you need to pleasure yourself, why do you need to pleasure yourself in the middle of a public street where a kid can see you? If that's how you shop for houses, you're going about it all the wrong way, dude. And yet we continue to let people do this. We continue to accept and listen, that coexist thing has its limits. And nobody seems to be willing to draw that line in the sand to say, hey, this is what is acceptable behavior in our society, and this is what we are willing to accept. Outside of these parameters, there is no coexistence. There is no we have to tolerate you because you are disturbed and you don't want to take the time to get the help you need. Masturbating in public streets in front of children is never, ever, ever okay. And this is a repeat situation for him, at least with the indecent exposure. This time they upped the ante because of a child was involved, but at some point in time, if you're not going to get help, we're going to excommunicate you, send them somewhere. Jail is not it. Go live somewhere else. If you run them off enough, you ain't welcome in my neighborhood. No, you're not. I'm sorry. You think that's wrong of me? That's your prerogative. But I can ensure the safety of my family and children by controlling setting parameters and limits about what type of behavior is acceptable in our society. And being willing to step up to the plate as a community, not waiting for some liberal police officer to come, walk up to the door and knock on it and say, excuse me, we have an issue that we'd like to talk to you about as a neighborhood. You're part of our community. By God, you're going to deal with and that's not what the job of the homeowners association. That's the most ridiculous crock on the planet. I'm talking about some able-bodied, strong-moraled, strong-willed individuals who collectively agree about the type of community they want to have for their children to live in. And when the community collectively agrees, then everybody needs to abide by those or move those rules, regulations, guidelines, whatever you want to call them. And if you don't want to live by that, then please feel free to leave. You are free to get the hell out whenever you want. And I think that should be the situation with this gentleman, but that's just my perspective. I've got a little more Joe Cat coming up for you. Was honored to have him on the program and interview him today. So a little Devil Is a Friend of Mine, his version of the Grateful Dead song, coming up for you next. Good morning, Walrus Nation.
Keep that now, came around. Said I'm gonna take my time, friend of the devil is a friend of mine. I am on the that line, just like you talk shit, and you're right. Running to the devil, baby, don't make friend of it. Spend the night in your car, get up in the hill. Said I'm gonna take my time, friend of the devil is a friend of mine. I am on the that line, And why cry when each lonely night? Something sweet and reaches to my heart. Sitting on a prison bed and tears on my prayer. If they got stuck with me, spend the night in jail. Got a wife and child, baby, born in Jersey. First one said she got my child, and it don't look like me. I don't take my time, and the devil is spreading mine. I go home for daylight, just like it's on street.
Oh, I gotta stop tapping on that.
I cry away each lonely night. First one thing she and me, she my heart's life. Good morning, prison bed and stairs on my trail. If it gets stuck with me, in my life is bed. Borrow from the devil, baby, borrow from the friend. Devil give you 50, but your friend will give you 10. That's all I won't take my time, friend, but the devil is spending mine. I ain't home for that night, just like it's on me.
Good morning, Walrus Nation. I'm making sure. Yeah, that was Factory Lines before. I thought maybe did I repeat Devil is a Friend of Mine? No, I was Factory Lines before. I hope y'all are having a great morning. I am enjoying myself. It was wonderful to talk to Joe Cat. It's wonderful to be here with you as we head to Texas for our next story. This is I almost have no words. Keyword there is almost. A Texas woman allegedly stole a bottle of free 99 wine so that she could get arrested. Now, why did she want to get arrested? Well, glad you asked. She wanted to see her boyfriend. Yep, that's right. She wanted to get arrested so she could see her boyfriend, who was arrested hours earlier. Alicia Walicki of Cedar Park was charged with a misdemeanor theft and freed on $5,000 bond Friday. Williamson County jail records did not list an attorney for the woman. Police say Walicki stole a bottle of wine from a gas station Wednesday. An arrest affidavit says the police found the woman outside the business and drinking the stolen bottle of wine. The affidavit also says she told police that she wanted to see her boyfriend, who was arrested hours earlier, and told them she wanted to go to jail. Police in Cedar Park, 15 miles northwest of Austin, didn't immediately identify the boyfriend or say whether the woman saw him during her incarceration. Police didn't immediately return messages either, as inquiries were made about the arrest. There's a lot better way to see your boyfriend who's in jail than getting arrested yourself. The best way would be wait for visitation, or just about 12 hours when he possibly could have bailed out and bonded out the next morning, sweetheart. You didn't have to steal a cheap. And if you're going to steal something to go to jail, steal something worth going to jail for. I mean, you could have got a better bottle of wine, and let's not steal it from a gas station. That's hilarious. A $3.99 bottle of wine. Had to have been Boone's Farm or Strawberry Hill or something, right? One of those good ones. Thunderbird, that's it. What's the word? Thunderbird. No, that's not it. Our next story is even better. You think you're having a bad day? Wait till you hear what happens to this poor soccer player. Is it a bad omen, bad luck? But don't know. It definitely means bad breath. Would you recognize a bad omen if he hit you right square in the face? Well, during Manchester United's opening Premier League match against Swansea, or Swansea, however you pronounce it, on Saturday, a mysterious white glob fell from the heavens and landed in the open mouth of a midfielder, Ashley Young. He was verbally bantering with a referee or another player from the opposing team. When in the video you watched it and it looked like somebody just hocked a loogie in his mouth, but you can't see where it's coming from. And it was suspected that it was bird droppings, that bird flying over the stadium had pinched one off and it landed right square in the mouth of Ashley Young, which, would you throw up? I mean, I would. Nasty. That's just horribly bad. You can't imagine how horribly bad that would be. And how bad is your luck when you are crapped on by a bird, not only crapped on by a bird, but the bird actually crapped right square in your mouth? Maybe it's the opportunity for the universe to tell you, shut the hell up, because there's nothing but crap coming out of your mouth. I'm just saying. Here's a little messenger with End of Time, and you're listening to the Thunder Walrus Show, watching the live video stream from Medieval Custom Cycle Studio here in Street, Maryland. Hope you're having a wonderful morning. Good morning, Walrus Nation. Yes, a soccer player for Manchester United. Saturday. Good morning, Walrus Nation. You're listening to the Thunder Walrus Show and watching the live video stream from Medieval Custom Cycle Studios here at Street, Maryland. We're glad that you are with us. And for our last little segment today, we head off to Green Acres, Florida, because Green Acres is the place to be. Farm living is the life for me. Well, that farm living makes you very tired sometimes, and sometimes you need to catch a nap where you can. And a sleeping driver was awakened by police at a Florida intersection, then led authorities on a chase before being arrested in a gated community. The Palm Beach Post reports that 21-year-old Jocelyn Jean Charles was asleep behind the wheel of a 2003 Ford Taurus at a busy intersection in Green Acres, Florida, about 9:30 p.m. Thursday evening. When a patrol car pulled in front of John Charles, he awoke, drove around the police, and fled. He abandoned the vehicle in front of the Waterway Village development. Police did not initially find Jean Charles, but arrested him at an address that was found on a bill inside the car. He left enough evidence behind for them to come find him. He was charged with fleeing and eluding, operating without a license, resisting arrest, and a probation violation. Of course, he remains in Palm Beach County Jail with a $7,000 bail. It wasn't known if he had a lawyer. But I mean, come on, you can't drive and text anymore. You can't drive and talk on the phone while you're holding it, hands-free phone operation. You can't do this, and you can't even catch a quick little power nap at a red light on a tough day. Man, it was 9:30 at night. He probably had a long day at work, busy with college classes and all of that other stuff that goes on in a 21-year-old's life. And my goodness, a little cat nap got him into a lot of trouble. So take this advice, Walrus Nation. When you're tired, avoid taking a cat nap behind the wheel at a stop sign or red light. Be sure you find a safe place, like a bed, to take a nap. Florida is frowning upon it. Walrus Nation, that's our show for today. We got to wrap up this program, bid you a fond farewell, and look forward to seeing you tomorrow for another edition of the Thunder Walrus Show here live from the Medieval Custom Cycle Studios in Street, Maryland. We hope you have a great Monday. Remember to get your wiggle on when you need to. The wiggle is your tool to shake the negativity out of your life and get a good, clear view of the positive and happy things in your life. Stay focused on them. Only pay enough attention to the negative to deal with it, then move past it and let go of it. That is my formula for keeping your happy cup full and not splashing it empty each and every day. Do what you can to splash a little bit back into your happy cup and enjoy your Monday. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace, Walrus Nation. Young Light Einstein, boys and girls. I hope you enjoyed the video broadcast. Catch us tomorrow. We'll be here again. Enjoy your day. Peace, Walrus Nation.